Okay, quick overview of the engine. Obviously, we've got the motor. Down here, that's the low oil pressure sending unit. So one wire alternator, meaning that there's more than one wire, I guess, but that's the main wire, obviously. This wire here, green I believe, is for the indicator light on the dash. So that's where that goes. Again, that's gray wire, and if you can see that, this wire here is for the horn. This is, that's a relay for the horn. Obviously, this is the oil dipstick. The radiator has the integrated oil cooler, which does a fabulous job. These are the cables for that. Down below is the oil filter, obviously. In previous iterations, we've actually mounted the oil filter remotely, but frankly, it's there's really no point to it with this because everything's so clean that cleanly mounted, I guess I should say. So it's easy access. You got your two horns there. It's our oil catch can, and then our hydraulics master cylinders. This would be the rear brakes, front brakes, and clutch. Anything else on this side? I don't think so. Come around to this side. Obviously, the reservoir for the windshield washer. On the Genvs, there is, similar to Weber's, there's the carb balance knob here, whatever you want to call it, adjuster, for carb to carb, if you will. That's your idle speed, none of which I would hope you would need to mess with. These are pretty much all dummy features just to look like Weber's. I think those are dummy as well, yeah. So there's really nothing to fool with the EFI carburetors. Over here is the coolant sensor that provides data to the computer. I think the radiator is pretty self-explanatory. There is this is the thermostat for the gauge on the dash. Now, what we've noticed is that when the engine's cold, of course, the thermostat, which by the way is here, the thermostat is closed, and so until the engine warms up, the radiator stays at whatever temperature it was before you started it, which in a cold start situation means that the radiator is cold. So the gauge itself is reading cold, even though the engine is warming up. A bit of a faux pas on our part, but once the thermostat opens up, the gauge reads the correct temperature that the engine is running at. There's no worry or concern with that because obviously the engine is running at a temperature below anything that would be problematic for it at that point. So it's more of a quirk than anything. We would have done it differently had we realized it, but we didn't realize it, I'm afraid. This wire here is a single wire that goes to the air compressor. Under, behind the passenger side light is the air compressor air dryer and the trinary switch. That's the gear that, well, obviously the dryer dries, but additionally the trinary switch runs the high side and low side, I think, of the air compressor itself. At any rate, it functions as a safety feature, so you don't overpressurize the the system, and also it runs the automatic feature as far as the radiator fan. I'm not going to bother trying to show anything below here. This won't come through, but these are obviously your ports for the air conditioning here. There is a, just trying to feel my way through, there it is. You can't see it, sorry, but let me back out here. Below here, if you follow the fuel lines, and then it goes back, and obviously back to the tank. But below this guy is a small 10 micron, doesn't matter, a small fuel filter. Shouldn't have to fool with it, but it's there. There's another filter under the car as well. And this is the main power supply. So, sorry, I guess I should show it. That's main power from the battery. So if you're going to need to do a power takeoff for some reason, you have that available. Try to cover that up a little bit better. There you go. I think that's everything under here that's of any value. Obviously, the spark plug wires go through the firewall into the under the dash in that same area that the ECU is at. So I don't know that I showed a good picture, but you couldn't really see it alone. Again, the oil catch cans over there. I think that's it.